Hello, welcome to Theta. I'd like to look at a couple of games with Isen. He has recently come back to FAF after, well, from what I heard, he was playing LOL, but we'll have to forgive him. He is extremely good player, one of the best. He's top 10 right now. He's one of the ones that can actually challenge players like Zoc, and I don't know if he's played Blackheart yet, but he's probably still getting into back into the game, but so far from what I've seen, he's playing extremely well. Definitely knows all the interesting builders. This is good. It appears he is going to do something with no pigeons, straight to the Hydra. It's reminiscent of the one that Blackheart's been doing recently, but I think Crazed also. So I mean, on Theta there isn't any new build orders, but I think I'll look at some of the shorter games and try to focus and see, try to spot those little details about why people win. And one thing about Isen, he has been playing a lot of Cybern. You would think it is the weakest faction, but he's been playing it so well, and his unit, the way he controls his units is really quite remarkable, so hopefully he shows a little bit of that in this series of games. I haven't actually seen any of these, so that'll be new to me, but massive land spam, it seems, from Isen. Varo, of course, also a very good player. Playing with Seraphim. Advantage for Seraphim, of course, the ACU, Tech 2, and the gun. Advantage for Cybern, the quicker Mantis. First Bomber. Interesting that Isen did not send out a scout to see if Varo would go with the first Bomber. Instead, Varo appears to be going pretty heavy on land as well. Let's see, try to make this thorough. So it looks like it's not a repeat build, but so far we see a total of 3 engineers and 3 Mantis and a scout. So pretty even in terms of engineers and scouts. Early on here, the Selene will be the first kill. So rather aggressive from Isen. He hung around to help build the second factory, but otherwise he's sending his ACU to the mid. He's about to do a mass stall. This is where it's really nice to get to a position where you can do a little bit of reclaiming, either in these spots or elsewhere. And I can see here these 2 engineers mass stalling Isen's eco a little bit. We can see 2 expanding engineers. And this is where Isen is going to do an attack move on a couple of these rocks. This is the best time to get a little bit of those, because they get used immediately. You can see now Varo with the multiple tanks, nothing to the bottom. So he's anticipating a raid on the bottom, but there is no raid on the bottom. Isen, a bunch of manual reclaim, actually both ACUs. Isen a little quicker to the middle already. 2 land factories, 4th land factory coming up for Varo, 4th land factory for Isen. And it'll be the Tham versus Mantis. Numbers for Isen up on top, and I think these numbers, I mean, we've seen the factories are even. It's the fact that the first factory from Isen was rather heavy on engineers, or not heavy on engineers, heavy on tanks. Actually, let's see what Varo's making from his first factory. And you can see it's also pretty heavy on tanks. That's one mistake sometimes people make on some maps. It's really good, especially on the larger ones, is to go all engineers from the first factory, but here where a single tank in the field can make all the difference. And you can see as soon as one of the players gets numbers, the other has to give respect. Also some artillery, so some opportunities for Micro here for Varo, but he cannot let his force sit still. But so far it looks like an advantage for Isen up on top. He's going to win. He's also moving in with his ACU. He's moving across. He's going to try to secure this area. He's also getting an advantage on the bottom. Very slow expanding engineer for Varo to the right. And Isen continues to push. And one thing about Isen, his micro is some of the best micro I've seen in a while. So this is now going to meet. See the standard health 10,000, 17 weakling on the ACU, regeneration, and 1150 or 11,500 for the Serpent ACU, so 1.5k. And this is where I think Varo had a really nice move. he moved in, he sensed that Isen maybe was a little overextended, but his Manti doing quite well. Varo needs to start shooting in the Manti. Huge reclaim, so whoever gets this. One thing is out, Varo pulled back with some of his units to try to protect against ACU, and that's where Isen continued to have maximum firepower combined against ACU and his units. And somebody needs to really vacuum up all those wrecks. On the other side, you can see a successful raid in numbers for Isen. Isen also taking over the top. So we've had this single battle in the middle, which actually Varo may be in a position to win, but elsewhere on the map, the victories for Isen. Isen now already on 7 land factories. We're also seeing 6th, 7th land factory coming up for Varo. And the engineer for Varo, instead of moving to the top, is going to try to do some reclaiming. It would be really nice for Isen to go ahead and take care of that. Here, minute 6 already, lots have happened. Isen 600 reclaim, 1500 for Varo, so Varo significant advantage. And looking at the power for Isen, he's got Commander just enough. Attack. No error whatsoever from either player, very low in power. And quite low in power for Varo as well, so we shouldn't be seeing too many upgrades anytime soon. And now it looks like Varo will take care of the bottom, and he'll have a straight shot to go ahead and do some raiding. And the reclaim advantage for Varo, I think that's what's keeping him in the game, because he hasn't had map advantage. Let's see what the ratio is. 28 tanks to 6 party. And actually here, Varo, yeah, Isen, seeing that Varo was all around. Although Varo here might survive. Ooh. Varo just barely survives. Isen thought it was game over, but I think here Varo needs to pull back. And of course, even though Isen did not win, he's got the benefit of having a full health ACU, as he's going to get a lot of kills now. 7 kills, Varo on 23, but a good raid on the other side. Let's see if Isen captures this radar. Isen full health, 9 kills in a stream of units. Isen has also put an engineer on a power spam, so he's way ahead in power now. He can go ahead and get air or anything else that he might want. And with that big power advantage, plus claiming this reclaim. And Varo, yeah, he's got point defenses. But a good raid up on top. Varo 23 kills, really far away from the next vet. Isen 15, 16 kills. This is going to be a good raid, but otherwise Isen is now going to have map control, plus he's going to have huge reclaim, and he's got power advantage. So really all that has happened. There was a second when we were checking how many units Varo had, and his units were not together with the ACU, and that was that split second when Isen realized he could go for an attack. It really took Varo's ECU down. And one thing that Isen's got to do as soon as possible is he's got to reclaim all this. He does not want to just leave that alone. And there's also artillery here in Medusa that will be able to counter that point defense, so Varo stands to lose quite a bit of map control. Let's see what the reclaim numbers are now here in minute 9. 2,000 for Isen, Varo 2,600, so still quite a bit ahead. And Varo, I think, making interesting walls. Is he going to play Turtle? Turtles are very difficult on this map. And I think once he loses that, these 3 mass extractors is huge. This 4 mass extractors is as many as he has inside his Turtle, so it's a total of 8 mass extractors, and half of them are very much exposed. Varo needs to get a couple more kills. He needs a mistake from Isen. Isen needs to throw away a bunch of units. And another thing that Varo needs is power. He's really falling behind. 25 kills. A response here from Varo. He needs to plug up this hole. Of course, the Medusa is going to take forever to kill that point defense. And another quick raid here from Varo. So Varo, despite that mistake that he had, he's playing quite well. And he's got really a large amount of units. And the reason that Varo now has numbers is that the Isen went ahead and went Tech 2. He's also got some power storage, which will mean Isen can start using. Oh, and that didn't even happen. Apologies, after 10 minutes, it was that easy from Isen. Yeah, one mistake, that's all it takes. So hopefully people enjoy this one. Hello and welcome to Williamson's Bridge. In this one, Eisen's going to take on Zoc, and Zoc's going to be Aeon. Of course, Zoc has established himself as the top player since the NG mod came out. He's #1 global, #1 ranked. But let's see if Isen can give a challenge. He does have Cybern. And Isen, yeah, some conversation there. Zoc does play random, so he plays every single faction. But I think Aeon on this one, unless we see some crazy air moves from Isen. And the thing about Isen is that he does use air very well with Cyber in those gestures. He's also very good at going Tech 2. Very risky, I think. But when you pull off quick Tech 2 or really aggressive air, really makes you a very strong player. Just need those few extra seconds. And you're set. Let's see the build order. It looks like Eisen's going to go with the standard 2 mass extractors on. He's walking. Well, that's unfortunate. That's what happens when you play LOL. You do silly mistakes in this game. Well, let's see if that gives Zoc a better advantage. Zoc doing the identical build order. So Aeon versus Cybern here. Identical. This is a map, 3 different battles. Of course, straight shot up the middle if you want to do that. But then you sort of get trapped. You gotta walk around, or you can go along one of the sides. And the way the mass extractors are distributed is very spread out. You can look at it. There's 4 spread out ones in the starting position, 1 directly in the middle, and there are 6 in each one of these wings. And these 6 are. You can say that these 2 and these 2 are rather easy to defend for the top and the bottom, but these 2 in the middle a bit harder. You can say that for the bottom side, perhaps this is a little easier to get this mass extractor. Literally, there isn't much difference which side you go to. Perhaps somebody can correct me. And while I'm talking here, this Mantis from Isen getting 2 kills, taking out an engineer also expanding to that direction. Zoc with a flare going up on top. And this Mantis from Isen is brutal. He does have a scout with him. See if the AI is going to run away. And he's got another Mantis coming in. And they got to avoid this Aurora. Aurora has no radar to it. Now 2 Auroras are coming in. And of course the scout told these Mantis everything they needed to know. They're going to get in close. So Aurora needs to kite. Otherwise it's just free shots. Oh yeah, these Manta can get close. And they do. And so far these Manta have been absolutely brutal. 6 kills between them. But very difficult to stick on stage to fight this yeah, it looks like this Mantis is gonna run away. Does have the speed. Now a scout. And it looks like Isen actually changed it up. He went 2nd air, 3rd land. Flare in the back here for Zoc still in position. There's an exposed engineer here making power. Isen does not have radar back there, so that could still be a problem. But of course with the scout, Isen has told Zoc that he probably will have multiple or numbers advantage in terms of land, and that he needs to start making flak. So Zoc is switching to flak. He also has a air factory planned. He's sitting on 3 land. So we should be anticipating Zoc taking over land here rather quickly. This engineer here has got quite a few mass extractors. Isen neglecting grabbing a couple of these nice juicy chunks of mass. Looks like this flare is going to be taken care of by a Mantis. And here comes the Jester, first Jester here, 410. And that's going to be very difficult to counter without any air. There is some flak coming in, 4 flaks, but of course this Jester should get quite a few kills and should not die unless Isen just lets it sit there. And also quite a few land units. Nothing up the middle for Isen. Isen sending his ACU to the top. Jester together with a bunch of Mantis to the bottom. You can see the Mass Extractor so far are split to 2. Actually dead even except for the middle Mass Extractor that Isen is going to take care of. 3 kills on the Jester. And this Air Factory now making a couple more engineers. But here, this is where it's going to be critical. This is where it really, it's going to be up to Zoc to make enough Auroras and enough flak and not too little of either one. And it looks like he's got really good numbers here. 4. Actually, he's got quite a few flak and just enough Auroras. And he has won the battle, and that's the advantage for. Yeah, and of course at Tech 1, you never want to just go Aurora versus whatever you have. And a victory for Zoc on the left side, that's going to be critical. Isen is going to have to try to plug up that hole. The ACUs do meet each other. And the Jester now with 4 kills for Isen. So superior rating for Isen so far with that Jester. Here come the interceptors for Zoc. And almost at Tech 2. Isen going very quick, Tech 2. Isen, actually both Isen and Zoc dead even on power. Zoc is going to rebuild the middle. And this is a nice engineer for Isen. Grabbed a bit of a reclaim actually. Let's check out the reclaim numbers. So far, 900 for Isen, Zoc at basically dead even, 900 each. This Jester now with 6 kills, still not alive. Still alive. Still not dead. Still not alive in the afterworld. But here come this is where it's nice to leave the flak up ahead. This is what Zoc's doing. Let them take the shots like by Roar shoots from behind. That's good use of units from Zoc. And Tech to flak with hoplites. And I haven't liked hoplites in a long time until I saw Isen play. He really makes him look good. And Isen with a Tech 2-point defense here. It's a lot of mass that he invested in that. That could have been another hoplite for him. Does not want to expose his power. On the other side, it could be dangerous for Isen. Tech 1 units coming in for Zoc. He needs to run away with his ACU. Meanwhile, Engineer is dead, but his Auroras getting some victories. Hoplite at 3 kills needs to kite. Plus Hoplite perfect unit to take on Auroras. Isen is in a bit of trouble on the other side now. He needs support. He is shooting at Auroras. 2 shots, 1 kill against Auroras. He has completely lost the top side. He has lost the bottom side. Engineers for Zoc taking care of it, and Zoc doing a very good job targeting power. The Hoplite having to run across to help Isen out. And we gotta say, I think Isen did as well as he could possibly do against the Aurora. But he's playing against Zoc, who didn't panic against the Jester. So a lot of people would have lost that battle, where they would have made too much flak. It's a nice flak here, Tech 2. Isen trying to rebuild. This is the first hoplite in the game, already on 7 kills. He's gonna skirt the side of this mountain, gotta stay out of range. And on the other side, the Mantis are trying to win back. Also a Rhino. So a Rhino on one side, a Hoplite on the other. And Engineer from Isen is going to capture the Mass Extractor in the middle. Tech 2 land from Zoc is going with the Blaze. The Blaze now the fastest Tech 2 unit, I believe. At least, yeah, is way up there. So it could be useful here. You need at least 2 Blazes to take on a Rhino, of course, unless the Rhino... We'll see how well this Rhino does under these circumstances. I think in a couple of these spots, it will hit the ground when there's a lot of slopes because its laser is shooting so low, but Flat ground should do quite well. A couple of auroras for Zoc. Moving through the middle, Zoc getting upgrades. Original hoplite now with 9 kills. With Isen moving back, he's going to try to win back a bit of position. 2 blazes and about 10 auroras. Moving through, Isen retreats. Now it has multiple rhinos. Doing a bit of reclamation. Isen really low on health here with his ACU. Zoc still in control in terms of map. You can see in terms of mass production, big difference. Zoc on 2000 reclaim, Isen on 2000 reclaim, dead even, but in terms of map control, an advantage. Isen here trying to do something. 3 kills on the flag. He's got an engineer moving in here as well. But I think once these blazes get in range, let's see if this time Isen can get out of there in time. Hoplite also quite fast. The flag did not make it. And unfortunately 12 kills for that hoplite. We have a loss. That's a nice engineer hiding behind. And you can see here so many shots going into the ground. Zoc choosing a nice place to fight, and now he's going to fight. But once the rhinos get in shooting range, they really dominate. Elsewhere, Isen trying to, he's going to get to cancel that upgrade. An overcharge will be perfect. And it's another place where you don't want to fight. When you're on top of the hill like that, you want to be right on top. If you're just a little far back, shots are not going to make it. This is where the trajectory on the hoplite's nice. Actually, hoplite here would be really nice if you actually shoot. See the splash. On the other side, the rhino's still doing well. But I gotta say the blazes have been really good for that was not the type of battle that a hoplite wants to have face to face with any other tech unit. Use their range. Isen 30 kills on the ACU. Quite a bit of reclaim now. In terms of power production, Zoc is a bit ahead. And Isen is in control. I gotta say, he got superior tech 2 units, and a couple engineers here would get him a lot of reclaim. Meanwhile, Zoc, he has been getting upgrades here in minute 11, coming up 12. He's got range, and he's got gun, and that's going to be really, you can see he's got power storage. He should be able to overcharge, although he doesn't have too much excess power, so the reload on the overcharge will be quite large. No Tech 2 mass extractors yet. On obsidians. Okay, so now that the obsidian is on the field for Zoc, the rhinos really have to respect it. You can see he basically takes 5 shots, but 4 shots from an obsidian. Is that Tech 2? That's a Tech 2 air. I'm not really sure the reasoning behind Tech 2 air for Isen, and it's pretty amazing to get Tech 2 air and Tech 2 land at under 300 power. I guess now we see the reasoning for the big splash, but let's see if this flag. Oh yeah, that was brutal. But we have just seen Isen lose this battle. The blazes showing how powerful they are, plus the single obsidian here. It's only got 2 kills, but did a lot of damage. Another Tech 2 gunship. And the thing about these gunships, of course, huge splash on them. They're by far the best gunship to use against engineers, which are assisting factories. They just drop them with a single volley, drop them 10 at a time. That power storage is not going to be completed. And once again, what we're seeing from Isen is the way he uses single units so well. This is something really for people to strive to, but now Zoc, he's got a whole bunch of units in support coming in with his ACU. He's going to use his flak. He's got to get this gunship next to his flak. Don't want to lose that beautiful unit. Tech to flak is low, so you gotta You don't want to let interceptors just fly over. And here we're seeing fire beetles. Isen is making fire beetles 3,000 damage per beetle for a suicidal. You can see 9,000 health on Zock's ACU. So if all of them attack at once, they might actually kill Zock. But with so many units in support, it will be very difficult for them to get close. This is where Isen, with a couple overcharges, and there is some power storage for Isen, and a gunship for 3 kills. But 2 factory goes down. Yep. Let's see if Isen can do something with those fire beetles. He needs to take care of all these units, and Zock has seen an overcharge hits the ground. If these fire beetles can get close, so now it's... And it looks like Zock killed 2 of those fire beetles. They got so close. This could have been easily a draw. Could have been perhaps even got a victory there. So close there at the end between Zock and Isen. I really hope they play quite a few more games. These 2 players have played each other so many times, and they usually have extremely good games. Hello and welcome to Rivers. In this one, Isen's gonna take on BC Legstock, so the British Columbian clan, going with Seraphim. Isen, of course, Cybern once again. So it'll be interesting to see what the build order is. Usually second air is the standard on this map. That's what it looks like so far. Yep, 7 PGens, second air from Isen. Exactly the same from Legstock, except 6 PGens. So engineers are going to have to be involved here to keep Legstock from power stalling. This map, reclaim in the middle. Don't want to neglect that. So at least you want to raid and deny it if you don't send an early engineer. You got multiple places to go with your ACU. I mean, some people send the ACU to the middle, trying to get that. Some people send the ACU to the side to try to claim these 5 mask extractors. Or you can just go straight up to the top as fast as possible. But of course, in terms of expansion, you usually get these 2 mask extractors here and to the bottom, but really it's 4 directions you can expand to. Second air is the classic. On maps which are not 5x5, second air is really good because then you get to see exactly what your enemy is doing, and in terms of raiding, you really hit their player a little faster. You can see this is a hunter. It's taking it quite a while to get across. That's one other thing to look at. Let's see what Isen's doing. Not too many engineers from that first factory so far. You can see these engineers. He's got one going to grab the reclaim, one going to the expansion, one going to the back. And of course, now these engineers are extremely valuable because they did so much walking. So protection for these engineers is critical. You can see how Isen sends the raider. See if anything's coming here. He did not send an engineer in the back because there could have been raiders coming in that direction. But there was something on the radar there for Isen. And I think now his engineer here is exposed. I'm not really sure if he saw it. We can see what that is. That's a Selene. Perhaps Isen saw with the speed that it's a Selene, doesn't have to worry about it too much. And now here we have a tank and a Selene. And Isen is going to continue to push through. There are some expanding engineers here, but it looks like this hunter, it needs to run away. Successful defense for Legstock. Now this Selene that Isen let run through, it, with a little bit of micro, it can take care of that engineer, but if Legstock isn't paying attention, and he wasn't paying attention enough, so a bit of luck there for Isen. Here come the bombers. We are now seeing, yep, bomber, scout, and bomber. Looks like Legstock was a little quicker. He's got 2 engineers on the power spam, and I imagine Legstock, yeah, that's what happens. He's power stalling because he went with those 6 PGens. But of course, Seraphim bomber, great scout. This is a good move from Legstock so far. So denies the expanding engineer to the top. But this is a great raider now for Isen.
get another kill with his bomber. A little bit of double bombing action. Oh, and just before the death, there was another bomb there somewhere? Nope. So this interceptor for Isen cleans up. Elsewhere, we're seeing Isen running in with a Mantis, but gotta say, Lexstock has been quite good on his defense. And a bomber also for Isen. A couple interceptors for Lexstock, but they're not flying in the right direction. And looks like it's going to be yet another kill for Isen. So Isen taking out these two expanding engineers. The expanding engineer for Isen to the back is alive. Actually, there's another engineer expanding for Isen to the top. So in terms of the damage done by the raids, they're much worse for Lexstock. You can see there's absolutely no engineering anywhere here in these expansions, while Isen recovered very quickly and never lost the one in the back. And I'm assuming that was this engineer died to the bomber. Now this Mantis gets all the way to the back. Tank is pursuing. So actually, in terms of power, dead even, but in terms of mass, advantage for Isen, and that's completely because of the expansions. And a bit of a surprise here, that reclaim is still there. Isen didn't pick it up. I guess he didn't need it. Let's actually check out the reclaim. Yeah, there's plenty of mass for Isen. He does not have the power to use it. He actually has his ACU still at base, building power. That could be a disadvantage. As Lexstock's ACU is in field, he can claim all that reclaim for himself. And there's so much reclaim in the middle here that it can make up for a significant loss in map control. And this Mantis is still alive. Tank with no radar has no idea that this is still there, now protecting his engineer. But now he's moving back. Yeah, this is a good move from Lexstock. Spots the Mantis. He's going to take care of the problem. And so far, 4 engineers on factory spam, more air factories for Isen. And the ACU is still making power. And only 2 engineers on the factory spam. So Isen is going for very big land spam, and he does have mass advantage so far. And neither player really going after this metal mass, which is mind-boggling. It appears that Lexstock has been able to drop off some engineers. Up top, there's reclaim for mass extractors. But he's definitely at a bit of a disadvantage here. He's going to try to cover against these Mantis. Against those Manti. And when you have an eco like what Isen had, where you don't have too much power, but you had huge mass, and this is the time to go ahead and get this reclaim. You want to build stuff that costs low power and mass, which Tech 1 land is about as good as you can do. That is not the time to start upgrading mass extractors or spamming air. Lexstock is going to lead with the ACU. This is where he can get a bit of an advantage. And now numbers for Isen throughout the field. He now has 2 groups of units he's operating with. And looks like Lexstock successfully grabs both the sides. So a bit quicker, although Isen not pulling away in terms of power. Of course, he needs to secure this because Isen can counter drop. Interesting here, Isen is going to retreat with a smaller force and then try to move in, but it doesn't look like Lexstock is going to be fooled. But it might not matter because the Mantis are so quick. This is great stuff from Isen up on top. At the same time, we see a successful raid from Isen. These units are completely out of position. We just saw a beautiful move, pulling back, splitting, and using the speed of the Mantis. This is something you can only really do with Siren. And successful pushes. He's just going to play wide He's going to reunite with these two forces. And what we just witnessed was a beautifully executed move. Looks like a counter drop. Let's see if these if those engineers are going to get a point defense. And that's all you need. You just need one beautiful move. And it appears that there's lag, but that really does not matter. So I think 9 minutes, but what we saw, excellent move in the middle, where Isen won the game.
Hello and welcome to Blasted Rock, another game from Isen. This one once again against Vero. Isen Cybern, Vero Seraphim. So just like the first game we saw, but see if the result is any different. Standard build order. Although in Blasted you can get away with 4 P-gens instead of 5, but 5 is the standard. 5 mask extractors, so you get a little bit of a this 5th mask extractor is a little closer than some of the other maps where you just get 4 to begin with. Civs in the middle, in case people don't know. Tech 1 point defense is quite a bit of reclaim, so if you get there first it's quite nice, and it also opens up the field because instead of just 2 battles on either side over these expansions, you can start running through the middle. But overall you have a choice to either go to the top or the bottom with your ACU. You typically can't take over both expansions against a good player. If you can, you pretty much have 1. And there's also 4 spots with hydros, and one of the ways to win this game is to deny one of those spots. Those are usually easier to deny than just outright grabbing one of these big expansions. And early on, here comes a hunter from Vero. There's going to be Celine that will spot this. It looks like this hunter is going to try to sneak in here. A lot of manual reclaim, but a tank from Vero. It looks like the hunter, yep, is going to take care of the Celine and then run away. Good move from Isen. So Celine up on top, also looking for any raiders. There are no raiders. And Isen using the speed of Cybern, making his units so much better than they typically are. This is something you typically don't see because people are just not paying enough attention to the battle. It looks like Isen is going to go pretty heavy in terms of power. He's going to go 2 more power generators after the initial 2 factories, which means one of his engineers that's in the field is going to do quite a bit. And also a hydro, a very quick engineer to a hydro. So Isen, if he's doing this, he's got to be thinking air. Oh, that was really good. The hunter, and we saw there the Mantis came in, took the first shot. Vero realized that, switched the target to the hunter and almost killed it, but 1 health left on the hunter. And now the ACU for Vero is going to be moving in. Looks like this hunter will eventually die to the ACU. But that was a very good piece of recon. Mantis are going to move in, deny this hydro. Isen moving to, Isen switching. He's going to go to the same place as Vero's ACU. Meanwhile on top, 2 Mantis versus Celine and a tank. So 2 versus 1. Isen is going to move in. And you can see how he saves the scouts. And another tank moves in. See how many shots are missed there just to change of direction. Just barely. Once again, Isen showing off good micro. And an engineer for Isen, a very early engineer, grabbing a whole bunch of mask extractors that are going to be lost eventually, but the ACU for Isen moving back. So early on, an advantage for Isen. In terms of power, a big advantage. That's the Hydra on those 2 extra P-gens, but no air. It looks like more land factories, 2 engineers on the land production. 4 land factory, 5th nearly done. And a bit ahead in terms of production of land is Vero. But in terms of micro, Isen here dominating up on top. Quite a few Celines. Isen pushes ahead, splits. He's going to deny a mass tracker and engineer in the little cul-de-sac, and looks like the second Hydra is on its way for Isen. Once you get to those Hydras, you have so much power. You don't have to worry about PGNs at all. And you, well, actually, something important, a point defense completed for Vero. And Isen is going to go ahead and reclaim it. Overcharge for Isen. So Vero, instead of shooting that whole time, was building. Which means his ACU is at a bit of a disadvantage. Up top, looks like Vero sending more units. He hit a few more factories, so he sends them, has more tanks now. Isen, though, quickly catching up in terms of land production. And in terms of mastery extraction, they're dead even. And a victory now for Vero on the top. Now this makes it quite interesting. Isen looked like he was in control. He's still in control in terms of power, but now this is all very even. Although now it looks like Isen will be able to grab this, but now a huge force for Vero. Like really a necessary force to save his ACU. And once again, Manti are going to be denying these cul-de-sacs. But a victory that Vero really needs to use. He's got a whole bunch of engineers, a big engineering crew. Moving to the top, he needs to grab all that, maybe deny that Hydro, and that will really even things out. He also needs to grab this Hydro. I think Isen has been wasting quite a bit of power here, and oh, this is great. If this tank survives, shooting the wrong target, he's got to kill either the engineer, power storage, or... Yeah, so it was a good thought, but good defense from Isen. Also, in terms of Raider, I gotta say, this Raider here, much better than anything that Isen has. Isen has neglected to make a Raider here in the middle. It's really a standard move, and if you look at this, you can see why. Gives you a good view of exactly what Isen is going to be doing. Here we're seeing there's still numbers for Vero, but it's getting kind of close. And another good tank moving through. Oh, and yeah, civilians getting kills. 2 kills already. And a bit of artillery shots. No, their Vero is not going to finish. Isen pushes up ahead. And Vero has to be very careful. The numbers are now very even. And he's trying to fight close to Isen's production. So there is some good artillery there for Vero as well. And of course the FAMs, 1v1, have more damage and more health than the Mantis. And now this is a very even game. Still no air. This power storage gives Isen the overcharge ability. Not too much overcharging for Vero because he's just barely got enough power to do whatever he's doing. Isen now pushing up ahead. Also quite low on health, so he's got to be careful. And yet another push. And I think their Isen's forces uncharacteristically not a good idea there for Isen to mistake a point defense. Felt like he had more units, but this point defense really surprised him. That's a good artillery trying to take out that Hydra. Will be denied. And this is kind of dangerous now for Vero. There are some engineers here. He's got to protect that point defense with everything he's got. And Tech 2 land for Isen. Tech 2 point defenses, extremely powerful. Mobile missile launchers, extremely powerful on this map. Let's see, that looks like what Isen is going to do. And now artillery Medusas are going to go after that point defense. You can see a big shift of units for Vero. He will need to protect that. If he loses that and he loses the top, his game is over. ACU for Vero trying to get an upgrade. But ACU upgrades can be very difficult. Very good placement on the point defense. That will deny any sneaky attacks. ACU for Isen also getting an upgrade. And now Tech 2 hoplites. Isen's awesome hoplites making an appearance. Also good units against point defense. Medusas. So Isen chipping away. He's got the tools. It's just going to be a matter of time. Vero needs to... Looks like Isen Rivera has cancelled the upgrade. He's going to push ahead. He must have realized there's... Or perhaps he realized that he just can't do it because he doesn't have enough power. He's got a whole bunch of engineers on power. He's pushing against Isen. Realizing he needs drastic measures because up on top there are major problems for him. Although Seraphim artillery plus point defense is a very powerful force, Isen appears to have cancelled his upgrade, so a successful move. Isen now could be in trouble. He's just full retreat, and seeing a Rhino there, that needs to be overcharged as soon as possible. That Rhino caused Vero to retreat, and I think that saved Eisen's life. That could have easily been a draw at least. And this is where you need the overcharge. You need the power storage. And Vero not catching up. Actually, Vero up ahead in terms of power production. Successful denial of a Hydra up on top. Point defense, 11 kills, still not dead. That's the Medusas being horrible. Rhino 5 kills, not afraid of an overcharge. But Vero now, a whole bunch of tech on P-Gens, has a whole bunch of power. Once he gets the power storage, it's be a very powerful ACU, and Tech 2 mass extractor that I did not notice from Vero. That gives him an advantage. No Tech 2 mass extractors yet for Isen, but this point defense finally fell, which means Isen is going to have map control. And besides that map control, this right here is like close to 1,000 mass. That'll get you at least 5-6 hoplites just for the price of all that. Vero needs some counter to Tech 2. He knows that there are hoplites and there are rhinos. Overcharge is the most obvious thing that he can do. He can do it now. But eventually he's got to anticipate Tech 2 point defenses, and he's got to anticipate mobile missile launchers. And does he? Yep, he's got Tech 2 of his own. He's got a Tech 2 engineer. He's got yet another Tech 2 mass extractor, so losing map control will not be that critical. And he needs Tech 2 point defenses. This is where the micro of all the engineers is important. A lot of build capacity for Vero here in terms of engineers, so yeah, we can see where he's putting those. Looks like he's going to send all of his units up top to fight the Tech 2. The ACU is going to cover the bottom. 18 kills, low health. Isen also hanging out, kind of low health. And an air factory. Finally an air factory here, minute 12 from Isen. And I gotta say, Isen now 3,500 reclaim. Vero 5,000, so that's an advantage. That is going to be evened out though after a few minutes with this engineer. Now, one thing I would love to see stats from engineers, for individual engineers, to see how much each engineer reclaimed. That'd be really cool, but I don't know if that's possible, or if it's possible how much work it would take. Some Ilshavas now on the field. These things are extremely deadly. But with micro, of course, and especially Isen micro, shouldn't be too much problems. Well, now these hoplites getting caught. And it looks like Vero is going to take back a lot. Vero now in trouble. Overcharges, 24 kills. He needs protection. And it looks like Isen targeting Vero's ACU. But Vero, 30 kills. Continues to retreat. The point defense here, 3 kills. Tech 2 point defense nearly complete. Vero there surviving, and now actually comes out in a fairly good position. Tech 2 point defense for Isen as well. He's going to assist with his Manta. So Tech 2 point defense standoff on the bottom, up on top. Whoop. We got a Tech 2 versus Tech 2 battle with Rhinos. Rhinos, this map is one of their favorite maps. So much good flat land. And this Ilshua here needs a little bit of micro help. Does not want to just stand there. Actually, Ilshua did quite well. It is a little better than the Rhino, but not by much. So this Tech 2 point defense is going to be critical. We'll see. I anticipate mobile missile launchers from Isen, although Isen, he has to make a choice, either moving through the bottom with mobile missile launchers trying to deny the main base, or keep on making Rhinos to take over the top. And it's a battle that he Yeah, his Rhino's doing very well, but they're running in a straight line. Against Seraphim artillery, you never want to run in a straight line. So Tech 2. Ilshevas up on top, and this is where these Tech 2 mass extractors paying off. And I'd love to see some TMD for Vero. Although, looking at Isen, he's finally going to see, this is going to be first scout, minute 15. He's going to see Tech 2 mass extractors. He's going to see good targets for cruise missile launchers, and I would not be surprised if we see a cruise missile launcher here shortly. Good scouting from Isen. Let's see how well he uses this air. What his next units are going to be. Gestures will be really nice. Now Ilsha was moving in. Actually, this is quite soft here. If this also was just rushed through, Isen could be in a bit of trouble. And I think Isen is going to be in trouble here. He needs to do something. He's making mobile missile launchers when he needs more Rhinos. He needs strong units. He needs Tech 1 point defenses. Vero has taken over the top quite firmly. He's going to deny that Hydra. Isen now moving in with his ACU. He's got stealth and dead gun. Kills a Tech 2 engineer. And he's now just outside the range of that Tech 2 point defenses. That's great. And up on top, a single Ilsheva here looks like he's going to sneak through. Will do all kinds of damage. Actually, multiple Ilshevas. But Isen now looks like it was finally spotted, but did significant damage. Vero's ACU once again trying to get an upgrade. Air factory, but power problems, and Isen actually grabbing a Hydra that shouldn't belong to him. A couple Ilshevas running through 14 kills, 7 kills. And this is one of the reasons that Cybern isn't playing too much. They are soft like this. Even though Isen was playing very well at Tech 2 stage, these Ilshevas just started running things over. 37 kills, Isen making the best of his ACU. And now scouts from Vero. 16 minutes, 16 minutes. Very, I guess, unusual, very late scouts in this game from both players. All kinds of land battles, and Isen just abusing stealth. And you see, once he was scouted, Tech 2 point defense is shot. Vero cannot see. Beautiful play here, a single Tech 2 point defense. Meanwhile, up on top, all kinds of disasters. All kinds of problems. One of these Ilshevas, 3 kills just running all the way through. If it takes out that power storage, would be very bad. Isen is now in trouble. He still has a good position here, and he hasn't actually lost too much. He's lost a couple Tech 1 mass extractors, a couple P-gens. This is really will be the most important target. And Isen actually has upgraded a whole bunch of factories to Tech 2 supporting factories, so his Tech 2 build capacity is going to be very good. The ACU for Vero has been on this upgrade for a very long time. More Tech 2 point defenses and no answer to Isen's ACU. Both players doing significant damage to each other. Ilshevas killing Rhinos. So if there's a question of which unit's better, especially these ones are vets. They need to keep on running. Yeah, very sad for Cyber. I think eventually they're gonna die, but this is... And actually, it's gonna leave a whole bunch of reclaim for Isen. Isen now is going to counterattack with his Rhinos. Isen retreats with the ACU. A push perhaps of desperation here. 25 kills in this Tech 2 point defense. All these kills earned by all the frustration that Isen caused Vero. We're still trying to get that upgrade, whatever that is. Be curious to see. Actually, a nice push. The ACU for Isen just couldn't shoot fast enough to kill all those units. And Isen is now going to have very low mass production, except for all the reclaim that he has. And
Really good looking tech to force moving to the top. So Isen actually is going to turn this very quickly. And great choice of target there from Vero bombers against Tech 1 P-Gens. And this air factory is going to be denied. This is really the time you want air. More bombers coming in. And a single Ilsha here, that's not going to be enough. This force is very significant from Isen. And it looks like Isen's ACU, while running back and forth, has given Vero the opportunity to rebuild his base. He's got a bunch of Tech 2s. His ACU is still upgrading. And Tech 2 power. So Vero is way ahead in terms of power. You can see it's tripling. A couple Ilshavas run in. There's plenty of Tech 2 here to play defense for Isen. I don't think Tech 2 land option through the top is really an option for Vero anymore. And he does need to do something. He is got 4 Tech 2 mass extractors, but he does not want to lose so much map control up on top and all that reclaim. So he needs to, Tech 2 point defense creep is a good idea. And looks like he's gone to the middle. He's going to get a whole bunch of reclaim. But of course that opens up the middle here, minute 20. And a bit of rebuilding going on from Isen. I think that Vero should not stop attacking that. As long as he can make bombers, he needs to be sending them right there. And now a bit disorganized from Vero. I think he might feel like he's in control of this, but he has wasted quite a few units in the last race. Very ineffective. Leaving a whole bunch of reclaim for Isen. Isen, 10,000 reclaim already. If only he had the power to use it all. 10,000 reclaim for Vero. I keep Vero a bit ahead. And a good looking Tech 2 point defense. So both players are going to do Tech 2 point defense creeps to the top. And a couple engineers that are going to die. More bombers. And it looks like, Isen is going to move in. He's going to deny all this reclaim in the middle. He's going to go ahead and grab all that to himself. His Tech 2 point defense creep is in trouble. Good move from Isen. He moves up to the top, and they left a single Rhino to play defense on the bottom, which actually was doing quite well against Tech 1. But will it be enough? A single Rhino actually might pull it off. More units going to the bottom. So Isen almost giving up the bottom. I think now we're going to see top versus bottom. Vero is going to grab his bottom mass extractors. Another Rhino moving in. But now there's also some Tech 2. So after 22 minutes, this is still a very close game. We got to say in terms of the economy, Vero quite a bit ahead. Getting yet another upgrade. He's got this Tech 2 power, which I am anticipating a cruise missile here eventually once Isen gets some power. He's going to get that Hydro, get some Tech 2 engineers, make Tech 2 power. But here come the bombers. And actually with these bombers, if they spread on these P-Gens, we can see the scouts. We gotta keep on knocking the power. One more bomb there. The Hydra takes quite a bit more hits to kill. 7 kills in his Tech 2 point defense. And up on top, this is going to be a very good Tech 2 point defense from Isen. You gotta hit that. And Tech 2 flak now. Bit of a waste of bombers, I think, from Vero going after that Hydro. So much reclaim now. Being taken by Isen. And the ACU for Isen. I was anticipating that Vero would grab the bottom, but not quick enough. Vero now switching up to the top with all of his forces. He's gonna run into a Cerberus turret, but he just might win this. Another Cerberus turret though in range. This is not where you want to fight. If you're Vero, fight up on top, deny the mass extractors. Now 6 kills. And mobile missile launchers for Isen. Go ahead and take care of the protective point defenses. Isen now full health once again with stealth. He's going to start doing his tricks. Although I want to see what this upgrade has. Vera's been upgrading his ACU for this entire game. And Isen actually now ahead in terms of mass income. I'd love to see a couple more bombs. This is so weak. Just a couple bombers, and I think Isen is out of this game. And once Isen gets his tech to power, then it'll be much more difficult. And now interceptors for Isen. I'm going to start denying. Yeah, that Hydra was the wrong target. Some paths through the top, hitting those PGens would have been, I think, much easier. Eisen's ACU, 97 kills. Gotta say, between these two ACUs, no contest. Isen was so much more active. I think that has been the difference. Verge has been sitting on his base using up eco. And I think this is now slipping back into Eisen's favor. 99 kills, about to get 100. He's going to grab the top. The bottom is protected by Tech 1 point defense. And a group of mobile missile launchers will mean that Vera has to do something. He can't just sit there, as his Tech 2 point defenses will fall. I think this is a good use of Engie mod. Instead of making a whole bunch of engineers, although there are a whole bunch of engineers, changing up the Tech 1 factories to Tech 2. And the forces for Isen have been predominantly Tech 2, not too much Tech 1. It's a better use of mask. Still quite a bit of Tech 1 here in minute 26 for Vero. Vero will now go past this Tech 1 point defense, but Isen has a couple of rhinos are gonna slow down the progress of Vero. Now it's 16 kills in this Tech 2 point defense. And the reclaim just continues. Multiple battles here. I don't think Vero has ever got to reclaim anything in this position. Some scouting from Vero. And I think if Vero would have done the switch just like Isen to completely Tech 2, or predominantly Tech 2, the Ilshawas would have won the game for him. But all this Tech 1 that he's had, really not doing that well. But looks like Vero is in position to grab the bottom once again. And Tech 3 coming up for Isen here in minute 27. Not surprisingly, 115 kills and the reclaim nearly 20,000. Not enough power. Yeah, you gotta kill the power of Isen if you're Vero. You had the right idea, it just didn't make enough bombers.
Commander under attack.
See Vero reclaim 15,000, so 3,000 behind. More Tech 2 point defenses, some TMD. Isen is now going to once again switch to the bottom, and now this is all rhinos. All Tech 2 versus mostly Tech 1. Will be a no contest. Yep, that was a no contest. And nearly Tech 3. More scouts. Really think that Vero had this. But now I think Isen is in control here. He's also got a couple more Tech 2 mask extractors, although through the top. Once again, Vero. And if Vero can grab this reclamation field, he can be in good position. The ACU for Vero finally has Tech 2, and now he's going to get gun. That has taken about 10 minutes. And actually both expansions now denied. Isen moving his Rhino force across. And a small Tech 1, Tech 2 force from Vero. Try to deny the engineer, and it looks like a split. Isen is going to use superior forces on both sides. It's enough rhinos to go ahead and establish control It looks like Isen is going to have map control. Although a good move here from Vero, splitting his units. He's going to sneak in. Map control plus Tech 3 is going to go with Loyalists. The Loyalists in Eisen's hands are brutal because they really respond well to micro. I gotta say, this Tech 2 power generator not really paying off for Vero. He's had power advantage this entire game. I mean, it could have been shields, things like that, cruise missiles, or just total air domination. Would have really helped Vero. Now Tech 3 on the field, well, his first kill. That's gonna make all kinds of problems for Vero. But let's see, once he finally gets all these upgrades, see if this ACU can actually do something. Well, we see Tech 3. Oh, still just an Ilsheva spam. And all these factories here really should have been switched to Tech 2 supporting factories. It's good looking at Tech 2 point defensive positions plus a bunch of TMD. Vero moving out his ACU to the top. We're going to see ACU versus ACU battle. There is some Tech 3. And artillery. Oh yeah, now that's going to be brutal. This is going to really suck. It's just going to shoot across. Loyalist is going to bump into it. See on the other side. Shells are falling. And okay, so Vero's ACU running. Yeah, I think this might be a suicide here. But some good overcharges. We might actually be able to escape. This is just so much firepower against his ACU. And his game's over. I think it was the artillery-induced rage quit there by Vero. I think he really had the game, but at the end, Isen going Tech 3 with under 500 power. Gets a couple Tech 3 units, gets map control, and wins the game. So hopefully people enjoyed these games.